Last night, I stayed up till 1 a.m. This morning because I was waiting with bated breath to hear Donald Trump talk about the things that matter to him and matter to the world as a result of, what is happening in the world and how Donald Trump seems to have a finger on the pulse, knows what's going on, has all the solutions available to him. Frankly, one can only say that Trump is a genius. And we were expecting, or I was expecting, him to deliver a speech to the UN that declared his genius. And I wasn't wrong. It did just that. Thanks, everybody, for watching the Tony Tonkin Show. We're going to have a look at what actually happened this morning, last night, depending on where you are, in relation to Donald Trump. And I've got two clips that I'm going to play for you. One is Donald Trump himself talking about himself, and the other is from Sky News talking about how great Fox News, talking about how great Donald Trump is and what a move it was. Now, I do have to say that each speaker was allotted 15 minutes to deliver their speech. The Brazilian president who came before Trump was fabulous. Said what needed to be said, changes to the UN, how the UN should do their work, how it should be applied. He was fantastic and a true diplomat and leader. And then came Trump, who disregarded the 15-minute limit and spoke for 57 minutes. It was a rambling hodgepodge of crap, garbage, statements which were inaccurate, attacks on the UN, attacks on European countries. It was horrible, absolutely horrible. And I left after I turned it off at 1 o'clock. I was thinking, well, what does all of this mean? How is the world going to react? And when I woke up this morning, my wife said to me that X had gone crazy over the things that Donald Trump had said. And the response about what he said was basically Americans saying they were ashamed of their president and how he presented himself. So I'm going to start, though, with the response from Hannity, because and just play a minute of that, because I think this indicates where the other side comes from and the fact that they need to sell Donald Trump as being the Messiah, the person that's going to lead everybody out of the wilderness into the light. And the reality is that all Trump ever is going to do, because he's a moron and a clown, is going to lead people into further darkness and despair. That's where it's coming from. That's where it's leading people. But unfortunately, people like Hannity don't see it. But I am telling you that the time will come where Americans will wake up to who this man is, and then they'll start making decisions about how they are to unleash him on the world. Because the more he is unleashed, the more dangerous the United States becomes, and the greater the threat that the United States will be to the rest of the world. I'm warning you that that's exactly what's going to happen. So I'll play this portion of Hannity, and then we'll have a look at also a little bit of the speech given by Trump, so that you'll see how crazy and bizarre the man actually is.
Now for globalism, President Trump addressing the UN General Assembly earlier today, and he did not hold back. It was no holds barred. Nothing was off limits. No country was off limits. No person was off limits. The UN was not off limits. Anyone had any doubts that Donald Trump is the leader of the free world? That illusion was shattered today. It's almost as if those gathered at the UN might have been worried.
He's not wrong. We were shattered by the fact that the thought that this man could be a leader of the free world, whatever that means, was shattered, because he is a sick, demented, sad, individual.
Might have known what Trump was probably going to do, and that means go after them, because there were a lot of roadblocks in the president's way this morning as he headed to deliver a message to the delegates that they were not exactly looking forward to. The escalator leading to the chamber stopped the moment the president and the first lady, if you look at this, stepped onto it. And when Trump made it onto the stage, the teleprompter, that wasn't working either. And Trump recalled the episode in his speech. Take a look.
We won't go into that. But the point I'm making is that, according to Hannity, it was the greatest speech that the man has ever given, because people like Hannity don't give a shit about what's happening in the United States and how that's going to impact the rest of the world. They don't care. But there are people like myself and the crazy lunatic left who do care. We care the way the world is being shaped by people like Trump, Hannity, and those accolades who want to spout his crap. So this is the point. The next clip I'm going to show you is actually, I actually recorded the whole speech. I don't know why, but I did. And there's this one particular piece where he spends, and you work it out for yourself, this is Trump being upset with the United Nations because he didn't win the contract many years ago to, I don't know whether, it wouldn't have been building it, but it would have been providing some upgrades to the UN complex. And this is Trump complaining about all of this because, let's face it, the best thing that Trump ever does, the most consistent thing he ever does, is offer complaint after
Many years ago, a very successful real estate developer in New York, known as Donald J. Trump, I bid on the renovation and rebuilding of this very United Nations complex. I remember it so well. I said at the time that I would do it for $500 million, rebuilding everything. It would be beautiful. I used to talk about, I'm going to give you marble floors. They're going to give you terrazzo. I'm going to give you the best of everything. You're going to have mahogany walls. They're going to give you plastic. But they decided to go in another direction, which was much more expensive at the time, and which actually produced a far inferior product. And I realized that they did not know what they were doing when it came to construction, and that their building concepts were so wrong, and the product that they were proposing to build was so bad and so costly. It was going to cost them a fortune. And I said, and wait till you see the overruns. Well, I turned out to be right. They had massive cost overruns and spent between $2 and $4 billion on the building.
Now, the interesting thing about all of this, I think, is that this is on his teleprompter. Trump had planned before the elevator stopped, and you can have a conspiracy theory about that. Trump might have planned something. In fact, someone did say that as well. Trump's staff pressed the wrong button on the elevator, and it stopped it. But whatever that might be, you could almost imagine that the teleprompter not working and the elevator not working was an avenue by which Trump could talk about the failures of the United Nations, that is, the building thereof. And is still upset all these years later about the fact that he didn't win the contract. What does that tell you about the pettiness of the man who's supposed to be, but isn't, the leader of the free world? What does that tell you about that? It tells you that the man is crazy, that there is something happening to him which, and it's just like the way he attacked Europe, the Lord Mayor of London, the people, the man, I guess the bottom line of all of this is that Trump is the most hateful man on this planet. It's hard to imagine even terrorists being as hateful towards the enemy as Trump is towards his enemies. And if Trump could exterminate his enemies, as do terrorists want to do, Trump would. And who knows if he hasn't. So Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I don't know if anybody have seen or bothered. I don't suggest you watch what Trump did, but I do suggest you watch the Brazilian president's address, his 15-minute, a lot of time address, because it was fabulous. And there are lots of other people who will be addressing the assembly as well, who will be talking about things that actually do matter, as opposed to Trump talking about him missing out on a contract. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. In the meantime, just make sure that you take care of yourselves.